there's a main area that's coming up from the mantle below, right? And then we talked about those two rift zones. So there's a rift zone on one side and a rift zone on the other side. So I like to use this as a little model. So down where my foot is, that's the middle of the earth, right, the mantle, and all that magma is coming up through the surface. So in 1983, all that magma came almost up to the surface, but it didn't break through. And then it basically went, and to the left here, pretend this is the east rift zone. So that went up, and it did not start a lava lake here in 1983, but it almost did. But from 83 until 2008, all that magma was basically going down the railing here into, you guys all remember Pu'u'o'o, right? You guys all know that name. So the Pu'u'o'o was a lava lake on the rift zone of the volcano. So right behind Pu'u'o'o underground, there's a blockage in the rift. So that's why the lava had to come out where Pu'u'o'o was. So there's a block, think of it like an artery being clogged. So it had an aneurysm and it popped out where Pu'u'o'o was. And that was from 1983 until, well, 2018. But what happened in the later 2000s is so much pressure came up into the system that it popped a hole here. So this started the main crater. It started to build a lava lake in 2008. And there was also a lava lake still at Pu'u'o'o at the 2,000 foot level. So now you have a lava lake at 4,000 feet. You have a lava lake at 2,000 feet. So there are two lava lakes here. So what happened, so 2008 to 2018, two lava lakes, pretty consistent. Things were pretty much on track to be kind of the, essentially just going and going and going. But what happened 2016-ish, more magma started to come up from the mantle, more pressure got into the system, more magma went into the cracks, and there was more weight, there's more liquid up at elevation, up to 4,000 feet. So this whole thing filled up with a giant lava lake. It got bigger and bigger and bigger. So this thing was a massive lava lake. It was crazy. But what happened was there was so much weight in the system. So this is connected to the lava lake. Think of it like a hydraulic system on a tractor, right? You can blow a line, right? So essentially, there was so much pressure in there that it broke through that dam. So then it drains Pu'u'o'o down the rift, and then that drains this lava lake down the rift. Both lava lakes drain. They all drain out into Leilani Estates, which is at the 700-foot elevation down on the rift zone. And so basically, all of this down 30 miles of, while Pu'u'o'o is about 20 miles out. So that all that basically cleaned out the entire system. And then there was nothing there was all the magma that was below here. There was no support underneath, so the whole thing just collapsed in. You can almost get the sense of these big rings. This whole thing just collapsed in on itself, and the whole eruption was over. So 2018 party is over. There's no more eruption, no more lava. It's all gone. All that lava's down in Leilani Estates. It's spilled into the ocean. You guys all remember that in the news in 2018, right? So party is over. That 38-year eruption is done. So rest of 2018, from September until December 20th, there was no lava on the mountain at all. And then let's call it December 20th of 2020, all the way until May of 23rd, the eruption started again. But in that meantime, there was actually a freshwater lake that started to build. So this was so deep, that hole right there was so deep that a lake formed in there for about a year and a half. And then when the magma came out from underneath the lake, boiled away the lake, and then essentially started to refill the crater again. Now that stopped last year in 2021, May 23rd. Party was over. It stopped all last summer. No magma on the surface of the volcano. Last year, September 29th, it started again, and now it's continued to fill up this hole. So now you're looking at a lava lake. So essentially, think of that like a bathtub being filled from below. So that whole area, that whole black area, that's slowly filling back up. So since September 29th and now, it's risen 340 feet about. And so if it continues to erupt like it is, it's going about a foot a day. So if you came back here in a year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, in theory, if it doesn't find one of those rift weaknesses again, this is just going to fill up more and more. So it'll catch this next deck, and then that'll flow into this lower area. And then if that kept going, in theory, it could flow up into this upper deck and just continue to fill itself. Now, will it do that? Nobody knows for sure, it's not going to do that unless it finds a rift in the rift zone and essentially drains again, or continues and starts another, Pu'u'o'o somewhere else on either the east or the west rift zones. So right now, what you're basically looking at is this big hole is filling up with lava and solidifying, and then we don't know what's going to happen next. So you're just seeing it on this day, and so that's where it is today.
What's the depth of that that lava
It's
lake
about
there?
1,500 feet.
From here or from the
Here to this first deck is about 800.
to the first? So the first deck. So it's another 1,500 below that.
Yeah, to the first deck, yeah. But all the way to the bottom over, yeah, down to the black part, that's around, so I believe it's about 1,500 right now.
From here.
Yeah.
So it'll be 708.
1,500 feet deep. It's come 340 feet-ish. It's come up so far. So it's still rising right now. But that's basically it in a nutshell as far as what's going on up in this area.
So instead of spilling out in that Lalani Estates, it's just kind of filling this up.
It's just filling this up. Yeah. So there's a blockage obviously up in here that's not allowing for that magma to go back down the rift zone. So there's some sort of block. So right now this is like an enclosed bathtub that's drained. It's filling from below.
And then once the pressure builds up, it'll squirt out somewhere else.
In
Theory.
In theory.
Exactly.
In theory. Overflow.
Yeah. So two things are going to happen. Either this is going to continue to fill the bottom hole, or it's going to find one of the rifts again, and it's going to drain back out again. Or it could hold this, and it could do both, or it could do something else. It could go down the other rift zone, which hasn't seen lava since 1972.
So what is the temp where the black is?
So hot lava is about 2,400 degrees. So anything that's black you see could be around 1,000 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys. So if anybody wants to do a night trip, I would, night. It requires a hike. You're not going to see the main. You could see some things from here, but not as good as taking the night hike. So that's about a mile, 1.1 miles out, 1.1 miles back. Yeah, it's on the opposite side, but that's where the hike is.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah, but you could do it today. But you could see the lava lake today. So the lava lake's over to the right. See where all the smoke is?
Exactly.
That's where all the lava lake. That's where the lava lake is. But you can't see it from any perspective except to do a long hike, and we're not doing that during the day.
And that trail starts with an I think. The name of the trail.
That's the crater rim. That's the old crater rim drive. In fact, you can look on the other side. You can see the old road on that down block all the way across, down below, inside of the crater. You see the old crater rim drive. So we can't drive around the volcano anymore. You can see the road down in there. See that?
Sure.
How does that work with you?
So,
Oh yeah. So when you went all the way around, now we can't go all the way around anymore.
so what is that yellow? The yellow
That's all
smoke
sulfur.
down there. That's sulfur. So
Yeah, so that's how Kamehameha had got all, because he got the recipe for gunpowder from Isaac Davis and John Young. So
there you
he had
go.
all the
those
raw
guys
materials.
knew the recipe and all the raw materials for
Did you know
gunpowder
that?
here.
You knew that. No, I didn't. Oh, you didn't?
So so that's how Kamehameha was able to maintain his gunpowder supply. They were coming in here mining all these sulfur areas, pure sulfur, so it's perfect for gunpowder, right?